Today, we're going to use just one of our new file folders. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. We're going to take this file folder, just one, and turn it into something amazing. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, friends. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and thanks to everyone who's been supporting my channel. Thank you so much for showing up to watch this video, and thank you for all of the positive feedback that you leave in my comment section. Some of the comments are just so heartfelt and so encouraging, so thank you, and please keep them coming. Recently, I shared some items that I picked up during a back-to-school shopping trip that I took. I don't have children in school anymore, but I've always found that back-to-school shopping is a great way to grow my stash, especially some of those things that are hard to find later in the year, such as your composition books, your folders, and things like that. Later in the year, they will probably cost you a little bit more than they're costing right now. So that's one of the reasons why I like to hit up the back-to-school sales. Now, in that video, I shared with you guys these file folders that I found at Walmart for $4.73, and you get 9 of them. And y'all, I absolutely love them. They're easy to work with and they're very sturdy. So I do have a Friday quickie that I want to share with you using just one file folder. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera so that I can give you a closer look at what it is we're going to be making today. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. So these file folders were one of the items that I picked up yesterday, and I'm just going to go ahead and take them out of the plastic because they have such a glare on them. But these are the 3 designs that can be found in the pack. Each pack has 9 folders, 3 of each, and they are nice and sturdy, and we are going to make something so fabulous with just one file folder. So y'all, here's what we're going to be making. I'm not going to dress mine up too much because I don't know who I'm going to be giving this to, but I am going to be using this. And when I use mine, I am going to be filling it with some little goodies. So maybe something as simple as Hershey's Kisses or peppermints, not sure yet. But what we have are 2 miniature milk cartons and the little holder. Now I made all of this from just one file folder, and y'all, it is super duper easy to do. Even if you are a beginner paper crafter, I believe that by following this tutorial, you'll be able to make this, and you will be so proud of what you've just done. Now, a lot of y'all will decorate yours way more than I've done here, but I'm keeping it simple. I might go back and add some shredded paper once I decide what it is I want to put in here, and then I'll be able to give it as a gift. You can also use Christmas papers on this and do it in a Christmas theme and have these sitting out at your craft fair for someone to purchase and to give as a gift. But the beauty of this project is you don't need a file folder to be able to do this. You can do this with your regular paper. I'm using a file folder because I bought some file folders and I want to share some file folder crafts. So for the time being, Fridays will probably be File Folder Fridays because I have some ideas that I want to share with you on things that we can do with the file folders, especially if you're making investments or you have made investments in file folders. So I'm going to bring in my file folder and I'm going to keep it closed. And what I'm going to do is I am going to move the fold over to 8 1/4. And then I'm just going to trim. And so I was able to trim off this piece and this piece. Now you can actually cut these out and use them on tabs in your journal the way that we've been adding tabs. You can use these for that. Then I'm going to take this while it's folded. We're going to keep it folded. I'm going to turn it the long way. And I am going to trim off at 7. And y'all, I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit croaky and creaky every now and then. I am getting over a bad battle with food poisoning. I got food poisoning a few days ago. It was horrible. For lack of a better description, I had some of the most violent vomiting sessions I have ever experienced. They were so painful that I bruised my ribs throwing up, and my voice is a little bit different. But y'all, I feel so much better now. And I got food poisoning from eating a plain kids burger from a well-known burger chain. I'm not going to name them, but I know that that is where it came from, because shortly after eating that burger, I was horribly, horribly ill. But I am better now. I think the experience of all of the throwing up that I did took its toll on my voice a little bit, and definitely caused pain to my ribs. But y'all, I am much better. So we're going to take this, and we're going to take the center point, and basically we're going to trim off the center point. So we're going to end up with two pieces that measure 8 1/4 by 7. Because remember, when we first trimmed, we trimmed it down to 8 1/4 folded. So that means that both pieces, when we trim down the middle, are going to be 8 1/4. So we have these two pieces. We have this piece. I am going to show you just how easy it is to make these little boxes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to score at 2 on the 8 1/4 inside, 4, 6, and 8. And I'm going to turn it this way because sometimes the groove in the pattern will catch my stylus. So on the 8 1/4 inside, I scored at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then we're going to turn it to the 7-inch side. Let's score at 1 1/2, at 4 1/2, and at 6. We'll go ahead and do the other one. So on the 8 1/4 inside, we're going to score at 2, at 4, at 6, and at 8. And again, I'm going to have to flip it because it's something about that pattern that's catching. So 2, 4, 6, and 8 on the 8 1/4 inside. Then we're going to turn it to the 7-inch side, and we score at 1 1/2, at 4 1/2, and at 6. And we'll make the holder in just a minute, but right now we're going to make our boxes. So I am going to take my score marks and just give them a very nice burnishing. And then this one here at the top, I'm just going to burnish it in the opposite direction. All right, so now that we have all of our scores folded and burnished, what we're going to do is we're going to take this narrow strip here in the corner, and we're just going to remove that corner piece. Then we'll go along the bottom, and everywhere that we have a score mark, we will angle. So we'll do both of these. So again, I have that small rectangular piece in the corner. I am going to remove it. Then I'll go along the bottom, and I will angle cut on my score marks. And you'll know it's the bottom because you'll only have one set of scores. Here at the top, you're going to have two sets of scores. So now I'm going to bring in my ruler and an ink pen. Okay, so I zoomed in for this part so that you can see what I'm about to do. So this flap here is the adhesive flap. We're going to focus on this panel here and this panel here. I'm going to go ahead and just make a mark so that you'll see what I'm talking about. So you can see my mark here and my mark here. All we're going to do is we're going to make a triangle by going from corner to corner like this. Now, if you want to, you can take your ruler, place it down where I just made the marks, or where you're going to make your marks, and then you stop once you get to corner. I'm not going to have my ruler in the way. I'm just going to use my stylus and try to follow that line. Normally, I don't draw lines on my paper. I just sort of eyeball it with my stylus. And we'll do the same thing right here. And what you're doing is you're basically training this to happen. You want that milk carton look. So we're going to take this, and now we're just going to tease it a little bit by folding like this. We're not going to do a really deep fold, but we're just getting our paper used to being folded. I'm going to bring this piece in because we're going to do the same thing on this piece. So again, I'll make a little mark there and a little mark there. Then we triangle it like this. And I try to make that mark on the center point. Now I'll just take my stylus. You can place your ruler down, and I'm just going to try to follow that mark. And again, I'm just going to bend back a little bit, just a little, to let that paper know that we are about to fold you in an opposing way. So now y'all, we have it like this. I am going to bring in my tape. I'm going to place my tape on my adhesive flap. Then I'll place some tape like this on the flap next to the adhesive flap. Then I'll place my tape on the inside, and I'll just keep doing it like this. So basically what I've done in placing my tape is I placed it outside, then I placed it inside, outside and inside. So let's do the same thing over here. I'll take that tape, place it on the outside, then we'll place it on the inside. Place it on the outside. And then on the inside. Oh, and I need to place my tape on this adhesive flap. So now we are ready to put it together. I am going to remove the tape from my adhesive flap, and I'm going to join it with this side here, and I want to make sure that when I join it, my score marks this way and this way are even. So I can just take this, put it down like this. Now I'll stand it up and fold these two pieces in. But first I need to remove the tape backers. So let's take that piece and fold it. And now I can remove the tape backers from these pieces. And this is going to be the front, so I'll take this piece. So I'll fold that flap over and then fold that flap over. Then I'll go in with my ruler just to make sure that it's nice and closed. And because we made those triangles, we should now be able to take this pinch in like this and fold. And you see how easily that went together because we put in the triangles. So now I'm just going to take one of my little clips, put that clip at the top. We have a very beautiful box. We can do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to peel away that tape backer. We're going to take it and join it, and you just want to make sure that it's to the edge and that everything is nice, tight, and crisp. I'm going to go on the inside with my ruler to get that stuck. Now we can peel away our tape backers from the bottom. Now we'll take these side pieces and fold them in. This is the back, so I'll fold that over and fold that over. And there's the front of our box. Now, because we have the triangles on the side, I can go ahead and just pinch in, and we have a perfect little milk carton. I can take my clip, put my clip on. You don't have to use clips. A lot of times when I make these, I actually use glue and seal them completely. But in this case, I don't know what's going to go in there, so I am just going to clip them. And now we have our two boxes. And now we need to make the holder for the boxes. So y'all, I'm going to open this. I'm going to take the fold and we're going to move it over to 6 3/8 and trim away. So now I have 6 3/8 on one side of the fold. And so now what I'll be doing is I'm going to score at 2 1/8 on this side. I scored at 2 1/8. We're going to leave this alone. And then we're going to score at 8 1/2. I've run out of scoring room, so I'm going to take that last score mark that I made, and I'm just going to slide it over to 6, and we're going to make another score mark at 4 1/8. And then I'm going to rotate it this way and take that last score mark and put it in at 1 and trim, so that we can have our adhesive flap. So y'all, when we started, what I did was I took this part and I opened it and I set it at 6 3/8 and I trimmed on this side of the score mark. Then I scored at 2 1/8, at 8 1/2, and then I took that 8 1/2 inch score, I moved it over to 6 because I ran out of scoreboard room, and I scored it at 10 1/4. Originally I said 10 1/8. It's 10 1/4. Then I took what was left over here and I rotated it to this end and I aligned it at 1 and I trimmed off the excess. So now on this side, which is 4 1/2, we're going to score at 1 1/2, all the way across. Then I'll rotate it to the opposite 4 1/2 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 all the way across. And then I'll flip it and score at 1 again to meet that original 1 score. So because my piece was larger than my scoreboard, you might have to go back and look at this part once or twice. But y'all, it really is a very easy process that I know you guys can do. So I am just folding and burnishing all of my scores. So then here in the corner, we're going to have 2 corner pieces that we need to get rid of. So I am just going to remove these. Then we're going to go along the bottom and along the top and make angle cuts on both sides of our score marks. So your piece is going to look like this. I'm going to grab some tape, and on this part here I am going to be placing some tape along all of these top panels. Then I am going to peel away my tape backers. And we're just going to fold these over like this. Let's get them stuck. So now we're going to take our box. I'm going to take some tape and place some tape right here and some tape here. Then I'll move over to this one and do the same thing. Then on the piece closest to the adhesive flap, I'm going to place some tape right here. Then on this piece, I'll place my tape here. Place just a little piece of tape right here and right here. And then on the adhesive flap, I am going to add my tape. Let's go ahead and take a thin piece and put it on as well. So now I'm going to peel away my tape backer. I'm going to take this piece and we're going to join it with this piece, making sure that our score marks are aligned going around. Then I'll peel away all of the tape backers from the bottom of the box. And y'all can see how we don't need a whole lot of supplies to be able to make this. So I am going to peel away this. And then to make sure that I have everything nice and squared, I'm going to take my boxes and put them in while I fold over. So now everything is nice and squared. We can take our milk cartons and put them in. And y'all, how absolutely cute and adorable is this? We have this sweet little mini milk carton duo. It measures 4 1/4 by 2 1/8, and it is approximately 2 inches tall. And the milk cartons are approximately 2 by 2 by 5 1/4. So you have a lot of nice space to be able to do something really cute for someone. I am going to take this little piece of chipboard ephemera, add some tape to the back, keeping it very simple for now. I'm going to take this, it says Let Love Grow, and we're going to put that right there, keeping it extremely simple but so stinking cute. We made these using a single file folder for each one. This is economical paper crafting at its finest. And if you don't have a file folder, you can still make this project. So y'all, this is what we do on my channel. We take basic, ordinary things and we turn them into useful items to gift, to keep, or to sell. Totally up to you. And we make them for any season, any reason, anyone. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to be doing more and more of these types of crafts, especially as we get closer to the holiday season. So friends, isn't it amazing what we're able to do with very minimal supplies? You don't need a whole lot to be able to make these, but look at how stinking cute they are. A few scores, a few cuts, and you end up with something absolutely gorgeous. on the cheap. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's super awesome paper crafting tutorial. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, again, I'd love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.